Alright, welcome back. In this video, I will be showing you how to tween between frames, and this is Photoshop automatically doing the work for you between a start and end point that you specify. So I'm back to this original GIF sample with the circles in the corners, and if you remember from the last video, we are able to use layer styles in our GIF animations. So in this first frame, I have applied a gradient overlay. And to do that, I just went to Effects, Gradient Overlay, and then I just used a linear gradient. And if you just click right on that gradient, you can start changing the colors if you just double click on these stops. So I just selected kind of a light red and then a bright red. So I added a gradient overlay to each one of these circles. Now in this one, instead of a red gradient overlay, I want to do a blue gradient. So it really doesn't matter what color it is. I'm just going to quickly make a blue and a light blue. That's kind of purple, but that's okay. Say okay. In the frame 3, click right on that gradient overlay, click the gradient, and then I'm going to put this one at kind of a darker green. Going to do a lighter green. And then on that fourth frame, double click on gradient overlay. And then I'm going to make this one a yellow. So that's great. And I want a light yellow. All right, looks good. Okay, okay. Now you'll see that each one of these is changing as it goes around the circle. So what we want to do is make Photoshop do the work in between these frames. So if you come down here and click on these little circles that are in a line, it says Tweens Animation Frames. Click on that, and I just have the first frame selected, and I want it to tween with the next frame. And I'm going to add 12 frames between frame 1 and frame 2. And I'm going to have each one of these selected and say OK. Now you'll notice Photoshop automatically is doing the work between these frames. So it's reading the colors between the gradient overlays and doing the work for us. So we don't have to guess what color that would be. Now I'm going to go to this last blue frame. Going to do the same thing, 12 frames, okay. I'm going to slide down the timeline here and go to the last green frame. Going to do the same thing, all right. Now we'll go to the last frame because right now it's just going to be jumping from this last it's going to be jumping from yellow to red, and we want to go all the way around the circle. So I'll go to this last frame and click tween, and it's going to automatically want to tween with the previous frame, but since we're doing a loop animation, we are going to put it on the first frame and say OK. Now each one of these, I'm going to select all of them and just really quickly change the frame rate to 0.01, and that will just make the frames move faster. And now it will go all the way around the circle, and really all we did was set up 4 points, and Photoshop is doing the rest of the work. This tweening technique will save you so much time and energy, and you can make some really cool things with it.